Kate wrote to me. Kate says, at what age should children get a mobile phone? At what age did you get one? This is a really interesting question. And I think that asking current young parents what age they got a phone at in order to figure out when their children should get a phone is not necessarily the best measure. For example, when I was a kid, phones were just starting to come out. And I think I got my first phone when I was 15. It was one of those super old phones that had like a hard 1-inch antenna sticking out of it. I think it was like an Ericsson brand phone. I may be wrong about that. And it was the type of phone that you had to get prepaid minutes on it. And if at any point your minutes expired or went down to zero, rather, if your minutes expired, then you lost all your minutes. But if you got even 5 more minutes before your minutes expired, then you got to keep all your minutes. I mean, it was a crazy, crazy system that didn't really work well. I lost all my minutes several times. My younger sister is 11, and she's been talking to my dad and stepmom about how some of her friends are starting to have phones, and she would really like to have a phone. And interestingly, I was talking to Sam Cedar, host of the Majority Report, at this conference in Las Vegas that we were at a few weeks ago. And he said his daughter now has a phone, and that he explained to her that he has software on there to monitor her activity and who she's talking to. And there are very clear ground rules about what's going on, and that that's just the way it's going to work for now. So I don't know that I'm the best person to answer this. I am not a parent, and I am not going to tell parents what it is that they should be doing because I don't have an idea as a parent. What I can say is when my sister talks about getting a phone at 11, and I am protective of her, I do worry, because when you get a phone, all of a sudden now with smartphones, you have access to all sorts of stuff. And maybe it's naive to think that you can indefinitely prevent her from getting access to people or material or whatever that might be inappropriate for her. But I do feel sort of protective and wonder how great of an idea that is. So I think that certainly below double digits doesn't make sense. Should a 9-year-old have a phone? Probably not. I think there's probably ways that parents can still feel that they have a way of keeping tabs or in contact with their kids without getting them a phone. Once you get into 11, 12, 13, particularly in cities, kids are very advanced. I know that in Boston and New York, compared to some of the more rural areas where I see and hear kids, the kids are very advanced. They know what's going on. They travel on the subway by themselves, etc. There's probably a good case to be made that under supervision with the right sort of technological circumstances that can control the usage of that phone, maybe kids should start having phones at 12, 13, 14. If you are convinced that until your kid is in high school or has a driver's license, they shouldn't have a phone, who am I to say that you're wrong? So I don't know if Kate, who emailed in, had a particular age in mind. I don't think that there is a right age. I think there is definitely too young, and definitely separate from the phone part. When I see a 2-year-old where the only way to get them to calm down in a restaurant is to give them a screen of some kind, that does concern me. And I get it. If I were a parent and I want to have 5 minutes to just talk to someone at a coffee shop without my kid flipping out, it would be easy to reach for the screen and put it in front of the kid. I totally understand that. But I do think that it causes a problem. We have serious problems with technology addiction, internet addiction. And when I see a 2-year-old whose pacifier is a screen, I get worried. And if you think I shouldn't be worried about that, explain to me why. Because when I see it, I definitely get concerned. And even when my sister now is big into Minecraft, I go over to the house. She wants to show me what she's been doing on Minecraft. And I think that it's still under control. But I do think of, well, all right, Minecraft, fine. But what else is going on in your life? Fortunately, she has other stuff. But I would worry about kids whose parents maybe are a little less engaged. You got the screen, you get addicted. All of a sudden, that's your connection to other people only online. And I don't know if and when I have a kid. I don't know exactly how I'll manage it. And by the time I have a kid, who knows how different these devices will be and how immersive the experience will be. Send me your thoughts on this. Remember that we talk about all of these issues and more on the bonus show. You can sign up at davidpakman.com/membership. And of course, get the free Patriot Mail calendar for 2016 with your membership at davidpakman.com/calendar16.